So what are the key challenges facing India in achieving 100% electrification?
Tell me something about the contribution of Ahoms.
So in spite of a long-standing tradition of giving more power to women, why participation of women in northeastern politics is less?
Can you please tell me what are the basic criteria for one country to follow in order to be part of NATO?
Who are the Hazarikas in context of Assam?
Sir, may I come in?
Yes, come in.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
sir.
Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
Please give a brief introduction about yourself.
Sir, my name is Abhijnan Hazarika and my birthplace is Dergaon in Golaghat district, Assam. I did my graduation in electrical engineering from NIT Silchar. Then I worked as an engineer in power grid for around 3 years. And recently I have been appointed as a Assam Finance Service in the Assam Public Service Commission.
Did you join that Assam Finance Service?
Yes, sir. I recently joined in March 1.
March itself
Yes,
you joined.
Yes.
So you will have a training.
Training has just started, sir, like 2-3 days back.
Okay.
So I am on leave currently. After interview, I will be joining.
Okay. What is the training module there?
Sir, like it is around 5 months training, specialized training is there for our cadre. So different classes are held, like the accounting rules or Assam finance service rules, etc. Classes will be conducted, sir.
Did you learn from the training that why the government departments are following a single accounting system? That is a cash-based accounting system?
Sir, I have not done training as of now, so I am not quite aware, sir.
Here in the PFC, isn't it?
It's a Power Grid Corporation.
Yes, Power Grid Corporation,
yes,
not
sir.
PFC.
Not PFC, sir.
Okay. So tell me, Abhijnan, you are an electrical engineer and you have opted for a subject like history.
Yes, sir.
Why so? Why not electrical engineering? Why an art subject?
Sir, first of all, I have a good interest in history, although for some reason I did not pursue it during my childhood days. I was not quite aware of the options that were available. So that is the first thing. And secondly, electrical engineering, although I have been working in the field with regards to the subject and syllabus, I had lost a bit of touch, because I had passed out in 2017 and I started preparations in 2020. So considering all those, I thought maybe history would be a better option. So I opted for it.
Talking about the electrical engineering, you see, the government is wanting to become 100% electrified country.
Yes, sir.
So what are the key challenges facing India in achieving 100% electrification, especially with regard to the rural areas?
Sir, officially we have been 100% electrified under the Saubhagya scheme, if I am not wrong, sir. But the electrification is only as of now with one LED bulb and one a mobile charging point has been given. So the main issues are like the distribution lines are not up to the mark in rural areas, particularly hilly terrains like in Nagaland, that where I was posted, or in particular place of Assam or the interior places. Secondly, in rural areas, many places even issues of theft are there. So lines that have been constructed have been taken away or other issues are there. And the losses are also very high. The discoms have not been profitable. So they have not been able to adequately finance the rural areas, the metering or the reconductoring that is required, sir.
Have you heard about this Uday scheme?
Yes, sir.
What is this scheme?
Sir, the Uday scheme was launched to improve the financial condition of the discoms. So because they have the losses to around 2.5 lakh crores as of now. So some amount of loan system from the banks, etc. were considered under the Uday scheme. But I think, sir, it has not been very successful in this regard. So the losses still exist to large extent.
What is Suryodaya Yojana?
The Suryodaya Yojana is a recent initiative of the Government of India regarding rooftop solar scheme. So it plans to electrify 1 crore households. So solar rooftop scheme. So our focus has shifted only from the power centric to the household centric, the amount of household that could be given. And to augment it under a scheme like Surya Ghar Bijli has also been launched, so that subsidies are provided for installation for solar rooftops, which are still costly for various people. So I think it is a positive step, and we will see the progress in future.
One last question from my side. You see, there is a topic of tribal participation in the freedom struggle. You don't think that this topic has been understudied in our country?
Yes, sir. I think that it has been understudied to a large point of time. But with the growth of the subaltern school and the newer books that have come up, we have started highlighting them more. And the government also, with Birsa Munda PM Janjatiya Gaurav Divas that has been installed, and also the other like Aluri Sitaramar Raju, who was popularized recently. So gradually, the steps have been taken to incorporate them more. But I think still it has been less highlighted. So we need to work on it.
One of the retired bureaucrats has written a book on Birsa Munda. Are you aware of that? Which book is that, and who is that person who has written the book?
Sir, I am not aware.
Tell me some of names of some important figures and their role in the freedom movement as far as tribal leaders are concerned.
Sir, I can think of Sidhu and Kano of the Santhal rebellion, then Birsa Munda of the Munda rebellion, then Aluri Sitarama Raju and Komaram Bhim, who participated in the Rampa rebellion.
Anyone from the northeastern region who are?
Yes, sir. Rani Gaidin Liu participated in the non-cooperation movements. He was particularly active. Then Haipo Jadonang was active, who was a Rongmei Naga leader, and also various leaders from Assam like Moniram Dawan, etc. also participated.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Abhijnan Hazarika.
Good afternoon, sir.
Have you heard the name of the book Abhigyan Shakuntalam?
Yes, sir, I have heard it.
Who is the author?
Sir, Kalidas is the author of that book.
Okay. And he also wrote many other books.
Yes, sir.
Can you name them?
Sir, I can think of Megdutam, then Ritu Samhara, then Kumar Sambhava, and I can think of those now, sir.
Okay. Whether Vikram Urvashi?
Yes, sir. Vikram Urvashi. Raghuvansham is there, yes, sir.
Okay, Abhigyan. Abhigyan, tell me something about the contribution of Ahoms.
Sir, the Ahoms were a medieval dynasty that ruled major parts of Assam from around 1226 AD to 1826 when it was taken over by the British. Their major contribution was uniting the various people of various communities, castes, and tribal areas that had existed in that region, and subjugating the other tribes like Sutias, Baravians, etc. Also, they had given us a strong example of resistance against the Mughal forces and other forces that have invaded it, like the Battle of Saraighat, when Lachit Borfukan had shown his valor. Also, culturally, it has contributed a large extent to the Assamese society as it is today. Like the Bihu festival was popularized during that time. The Ahom dresses were popularized. The Buranji tradition or the history writing tradition were particularly enriched by the Ahoms. And also the Neo Vaishnavite movement flourished during the later ages of the Ahoms. So comprising all, they consist of a glorious chapter in our history of the northeastern region as well as India.
Okay, that's very good, Abhigyan. Abhigyan, your Citizenship Amendment Act was act that was dated 2019.
Yes.
And on 11th March, it has been notified. So, what is your reaction to this?
I think, sir, the Citizenship Amendment Act is necessary because of the persecution that particular 6 religious communities had faced in the countries of Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. And it is a special case with regard only to those populations. So I think in that regard it is correct. But as a person also of Assam, there is some opposition always there, because in some way it is violative of the Assam Accord of 1985, because the cutoff date of the people that came during that time was March 1971, but now it would be extended to 2014.
Okay. Abhigyan, another important thing, like you are from Assam.
Yes.
And Manipur is very disturbed.
Yes.
Can you provide any solution to Manipur problem? Anything in your mind?
Sir, as far what I have observed, the Manipur
Yeah.
situation is very polarizing in nature because the level of trust between the Métis and the Kuki-Zo community is very less. So I think there needs to be a bottom-up approach. All the administrators, the local leaders, the police, and everybody should come up to build trust among the various communities. And something like a Truth and Reconciliation Committee for resolving the issues can be thought of, and initiatives like the ending of the free movement regime that has been talked about can also, I think, help in the long run, as because a large amount of illegal immigration has been seen in that region.
Last question from my side: India or Bharat?
Sir, I think both are synonymous because as our Article 1 already proclaims that India, that is Bharat, is a union of states. So I think there is no issue in using either of the two names.
Okay, thank you, Abhijnan.
Thank you, sir.
Abhijnan, who is the finance minister of Assam?
Sir, Miss Ajanta Neog is the finance minister.
Is she the only lady to be finance minister in any state of India?
Sir, I am not aware. I cannot think, sir.
Okay. And do you have any other lady as minister in Assam?
Yes, Nandita Garlosa is the power minister. I think those two ladies are there, I think.
Okay. Do you think this is sufficient representation to women in Council of Ministers?
Sir, I think if I am right, there are only two ministers, lady ministers. So I think it is comparatively lesser, and there should be definitely more number of ministers in the cabinet.
How much?
Sir, there cannot be a particular figure, I think, sir. But
the Parliament has enacted reservation law for females.
Yes.
So if let's say 1/3 seat in Parliament can be reserved for women,
yes.
Why can't we follow the same principle for Council of Ministers?
Yes, sir. I also think, like, although there cannot be an exact figure, something at least around 25-30% should be there. So I think government will be working on it on the future, as because the women's issues are less represented and the political empowerment.
Have you read about Daya Bhaga? Daya Bhaga and Mitakshara, these two laws you have studied, I think, in history.
Sir, I have not studied very much, but I know that the two schools exist, the Daya Bhaga and the Mitakshara schools.
So what is special about Daya Bhaga school?
Sir, I'm not
as compared to Mitakshara school.
Sir, I'm not exactly aware, but I think the amount of rights given to women with regard to inheritance,
it's better than in
Mitakshara school. So it is prevalent, I think, in regions around West Bengal and also Assam. I think the Abhaga school is predominantly followed.
Okay. So in spite of a long-standing tradition of giving more power to women, why participation of women in northeastern politics is less?
I think, sir, it has to do with women also not coming out particularly to be involved in political activities in those regions, and because of that they have not been empowered, although with regards to the patriarchal norms, I think it is comparatively lesser in various parts of Northeast. For example, when if we see Nagaland or Meghalaya, but still then women, recently only Nagaland got its first women MLA, if I am not wrong. So I think mostly to do with the awareness and the historical baggage of not coming out in political sphere is the main reason.
Okay. And you know that recently the legislature of Nagaland has passed a resolution against fencing a border with Myanmar.
Yes, sir.
What is their argument? Why shouldn't we fence the border?
Sir, this with regard to free movement regime, because the borders, the international borders were ad hoc, made in an ad hoc manner by the British, and there is a ethnic continuity with the Nagaland and the Naga self-administered zone in the Myanmar. So they believe that the borders are not accurate, and there needs to be some point of time, even demand for Nagalim is there that includes parts of Myanmar. So due to ethnic community-based relationship, their opposition is there.
Okay. As a student of history, tell us two important events which took place in 1839 in India and one important event in the world history the same year. One is related to your home state, Assam.
1830. I think, sir, 1830. I think, sir, the Bengali was declared as the official language of Assam in 1839, because 1839 to 1873 it was Bengali in Assam. With regards to India, I'm not able to recall that, sir.
Okay. My final question. What do you understand by small savings?
Sir, my small, like minimum amount of savings which are comparatively less in number, that have been stored in like post offices or micro ATMs, etc., that have micro banks, etc., that have come up in rural areas.
Is there any law to define it, and is there some quantitative limit defined in the law?
Sir, I am not aware, sir.
Okay, never mind. Thank you, Abhijnan.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Mr. Hazarika, you are from Assam, right?
Yes, sir.
So, we have a special provision with regard to administration of tribal areas for Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram
Yes.
in Schedule 5th of Indian Constitution. You know about this?
Yes, Schedule
Assam.
6 of the, yes, sir.
Schedule 5th or 6th?
6 schedules.
6th schedule. Okay. So, can you please tell me what were the circumstances which necessitated, inclusion of this special provision?
Sir, as because Northeast is comprised of numerous tribes that have their own customs, own traditions, etc., and they felt that if the constitution is completely imposed of them, they might lose their cultural basis. So initially after independence, some tribal councils had been established, like the Dima Hasao and the Karbi Anglong Council in Assam. And with time also, due to various issues like insurgency that have crept up after 1980s Assam movement, so other councils also came up, like the Bodoland Council that was granted in 1993. So basically it has to do with their unique ethnic identity, cultures, customs and traditions.
So, after almost 75 years of commencement of the Indian Constitution, do you think that we need to now revisit the decision, or we should continue with what provisions we already made for the betterment of people from tribal areas? Or sufficient time has gone that we need to come back?
Sir, I think that the 6th schedule should be continued in the way that it has been done, as because gradually with time only the councils have been able to do good work and to progress like infrastructure, etc., that have come up, and still there is a feeling like they have their own very strong fraternal communal network that they have, and so there might be some resentment if it is taken away. So with regards to that insurgency, the success in countering insurgency and the comparatively better situation in Northeast, I think it should be continued in the long run.
Okay, in order to protect the rights of people coming from tribal communities, we have a apex body called National Commission for Scheduled Tribe. It's a constitutional body, and it is said that when this body sits, it sits as a civil court. What does civil court in its definition entail? When National Commission for Scheduled Tribe is sitting as a civil court, what does that effectively mean?
When it sits as a civil court, it can summon evidence from different parts. It can summon people to appear before it. It can give orders to implement certain provisions so that its decisions have been followed. I think civil court is majorly following that system.
While acting as a civil court, can any verdict it can issue which has the impact of imprisonment of any person as such? Can such decisions be delivered by this court?
Sir, I am not exactly aware, but I think with regards to imprisonment, such orders cannot be issued.
Any monetary punishment can be awarded by this body?
Sir, I think so, but I am not 100% sure.
Okay. So this year in 2024, we are also celebrating, commemorating 30th year of a very landmark judgment given by Supreme Court of India 1994, SR Bombay versus Union of India.
Yes.
Can you please give us some insight into the judgment?
Sir, SR Bombay judgment is with regard to federalism that was established as the basic structure doctrine after it. So it has mainly to do with the procedural grounds that need to be followed before imposing precedence rule in a particular state. So it was clarified during that time that sufficient time needs to be given to the party to prove its majority, like it cannot be removed only for the reason of corruption, and sufficient grounds needed to be exist so that our constitution needs to be subverted, or the constitutional orders need not be followed. So if we are to impose president's rule, and also the Supreme Court had told that it can recall the government that had been even dissolved if it is found that the president's rule had been imposed with a malified intention.
Okay, my last question to you. You know about NATO?
Yes, sir.
The membership of NATO has gone to 32, right?
Yes.
With Sweden joining the military alliance.
Yes.
Can you please tell me what are the basic criteria for one country to follow in order to be part of NATO?
Sir, the basic underlying principle of NATO is collective security. So if any country faces attack from any other party outside NATO, then all should come together to fight them. Then there is a requirement of a minimum amount that needs to be deposited to for requirement of help from all the NATO parties, which had been violated to some extent. Some opposition was there regarding it. And
if a Asian country wishes to be part of NATO, can it genuinely aspire to be part of NATO?
For Asian countries earlier there was SEATO was there, but I'm
asking about NATO. SEATO is different.
I'm not exactly aware if there is some condition regarding like entry to NATO. Thank you, sir.
Abhijnan,
Sir.
Who are the Hazarikas in context of Assam?
Sir, the Hazarika is particularly a Ahom military rank that has been awarded to people that govern 1,000 people below them.
Right.
So anyone who is above 1,000 pikes, who were also the military and the civilian wing of the Ahom army, is known as a Hazarika, sir. It's a military
So
rank.
you are someone who loves short stories, right?
Yes, sir, I used to it.
Can you tell us some stories from Northeast India that will be helpful in its integration with India? Some of the stories, some of the events maybe.
Sir, like there have been stories written by particularly Birendranath Bhattacharya, who was a Gyanpith winner, like a story within Mrityunjay, which talked about the freedom struggle and the Quit India movement when the train was derailed in Assam in 1942.
Right.
So that can be one. Then other stories highlighting the unique culture of northeastern India as part of India have been written by Mamoni Roysom Goswami, like Nilakanti Brojo, etc. can be there. And also I can think of like Kathanibari Ghat story about Mohim Bora, which also talks about the beautiful landscape of the Brahmaputra and its continuity across Assam and to the eastern parts.
You have been an electrical engineer.
Yes, sir.
You also worked for Power Finance Corporation, right? Tell us some of the necessary safety from the perspective of an electrical engineer that you will take while working or while leading a team for some important project.
Sir, particularly I was posted in a substation in Dimapur, Nagaland.
Right.
So we had to be very careful regarding it. So like we had some norms, like we had to regularly check whether the step potential and touch potential are within the limits. We always used to wear gloves, like when we had to manage or do some safety work on electrical equipments. Then umbrellas were strictly not allowed in substations, and nobody was allowed to touch the various switchboards, etc. with wet hands, etc. So these are some I can think of, sir.
Fine. You are working in as a Assam, I mean in Assam Financial Services, right? There is a persistent problem that for Indian states, for most of Indian states, the debt corresponding to their GSDP is quite high, right? Give us certain suggestion how this ratio can be maintained.
So I think the fiscal prudence from the state needs to come up. The unnecessary expenses like arranging events or arranging travel etc. can be controlled to a certain extent. Then we can focus on improving the GSDP of the state. For example, in Assam, the tourism sector has been focused, or the semiconductor industry has been coming up, which will create employment and automatically balance out the debt to GSDP ratio. And also the limits under the FRBM Act that were earlier imposed needs to be gradually also reimposed, so that the states are bound to follow the particular fiscal limits, and the strength of the state finance can be maintained, sir.
Right. One of the policy of government of India is the policy of act east through northeast, right?
Yes, sir.
Give us certain, how northeast can be important with respect to our act east policy?
Sir, it is mostly to do with its geographical location, as because it is directly connected to Southeast Asia through Myanmar. So our importance through Northeast becomes important. And further, considering also the growth of Northeast that is necessary, it is seen that rather than traveling through the chicken snake corridor, which is very small corridor and the time required is very high, so we can think of alternate routes like Kaladan multimodal project or the National Waterway 2 that has been energized recently through Dhaka. So in that regard, it is very important. Also, there are cultural and people-to-people ties between northeastern region and Southeast Asia since historical times. So all those can be exploited.
Fine. Thank you, Abhijnan.
Okay, thank you very much, Abhijnan. Your interview is over. You may go now.
Thank you, sir. Thanks. Thanks. Sir.
Yes, come in. Sit down, Abhijnan.
Thanks.
Abhijnan, when is your interview?
Sir, 21st of March.
21st itself. Okay. Which attempt is this?
So 4th attempt, sir.
4th. And interview?
First interview, sir.
First interview. Okay. How was your experience today with us?
Sir, it was overall, it was good, I think, sir.
Okay.
I have to work on some issues that I felt, sir.
You see, there is always a scope for improvement. Anything you do,
Yes,
even
sir.
after the best of your performance, still there is a scope of for improvement. But all said and done, you are an excellent candidate. You are a very good candidate. You asked you questions on from variety of issues.
Thank you.
And you explained all those issues to the best of your abilities in a most logical manner, which is really good.
Thank you, sir.
Now, when you go for the interview, basically it's a personality test, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not a test of your knowledge per se. It has already been tested through earlier examinations. So personality test is conducted just to call you in person and to analyze various aspects of your personality.
Yes.
So you're being honest, whether you are a person of integrity or not. Honesty of purpose is there in your answers or not. And then about your qualities of whether you are a patient listener or not. Meaning thereby that mental alertness is there or not to understand intent of the question.
Yes.
So these are the basic issues, and your critical power of assimilation, clear logical thinking. These are the things, and interest, your general interest and knowledge of current affairs, and whether you are your balance of judgment, whether you are logical, whether you are balanced in your views or not.
Yes.
Then all those parameters you are come out very well.
Thank you, sir.
So it's not an issue at all for us. Now that you have already had the working experience of 4 long years
Yes.
in the power sector,
Yes.
so make sure that you prepare power sector thoroughly.
Yes.
So a lot of questions will be asked.
Yes.
We try to cover a few areas, but the areas are galore.
Yes.
So you have to cover all the areas, starting from the problems in the power sector, the discoms, as you have mentioned.
Yes.
About that. Starting from your what are the problems in the distribution system, what are the problems in the transmission system, and so on and so forth. Problem with the discoms and all that. Why this problem? What is the way out and all that?
Yes.
That is one. As electrification, you said that officially it is 100%, but it is only an official figure.
Yes.
The issues which you have also clearly mentioned about
Yes.
that. Then power sector will lead you to the energy sector, that will take you to the renewable sources of energy and all that.
Yes.
Then how to be net neutral by 2070 and all that. So what are the initiatives taken by the government to become a net neutral country, and these schemes you must be fully aware of.
Yes.
So that is very important for you. Then the concepts of your electric vehicles, that is important.
Yes.
Because this is anything about the role of electrical engineers in developing infrastructure for the electric vehicles and all that. Then problems with the batteries and all. So how the world is grappling with these issues and all that, and the logistic issues in popularizing this scheme, and the government's initiative also.
Yes.
So those are important things. Then newer concepts like your microgrids,
Yes.
or even carbon trading and all that, how carbon trading is done in our country, what are the different agencies overseeing the carbon credit, what are the types of credits issued by different agencies. Those things, if we are able to make a comprehensive note, then that one sector will be taken care of.
Yes.
Then you are a student of history.
Yes.
And coming from Assam, so some Assam specific questions may be asked.
Yes.
Apart from the general studies, that is historiography is very much in discussion.
Yes.
Writing of history, do you think that history should be rewritten, kind of a thing?
Yes.
And different schools of historiography and all that. You spoke about the subaltern theory and all. So all the theories, and they're basically what do the theories entail?
Yes.
And whether history should be evidence based or whether it should be opinion based, those kind of things.
Yes.
And whatever is happening about in the Uttar Pradesh, your about the Gyan Vapi issue and all that is related to history and all that.
Yes.
So the relevant act and all that, if you go through it cursorily, you will understand
Yes.
what exactly it is.
Yes.
Then Assam is a state with reference to your international affairs. Chicken neck, you have yourself mentioned.
Yes.
Our issues, our problems with the neighboring states.
Yes.
So those problems we
Yes.
should be fully alive to.
Yes.
And Assam Accord, these issues on UCC and all, because the Chief Minister of Assam has been taking a stand, and what exactly he has citing the court's order, what exactly he has said, what is the intention behind the statement which he had given. You must be aware of all that. So prepare that.
Yes.
History, national freedom struggle is very important. Freedom struggle, what questions will be asked, very difficult. But
Yes.
if you are asked to give a particular name who has inspired you in the history, you should be able to at least name one and why part of it.
Yes.
The role of women, role of tribal women,
Yes.
role of women in the making of Indian Constitution also. Those general things may be there. And then your Kashmir issue, article abrogation of 370, this historical perspective, why article 370 was created,
Yes.
and 35A it was created, and now why it was abrogated. You prepare all that and you'll do well, no doubt about it. But make sure that you don't ever compromise with your personal ethics, your personal honesty. If you don't know question, don't answer based on surmises and conjectures.
Okay, sir.
Say absolutely no, sir, I am not aware.
Okay, sir.
Honesty is the best policy.
Fine.
Be honest in all your statements.
Yes.
Okay.
Fine.
All the best to you.
Thank you, sir.
Anything we want to speak, ask?
Oh, sorry, it's fine. I think
All the
I
best.
got it, sir.
All yeah.
And the dress, can you
Dress
say
is, I think,
whether it is
dress
fine
is
or
all
not?
right, but tie is appears to be slightly flashy tie.
I'm not able to decide actually, so I ask.
And if we have a sober variety of tie, that is better.
Okay.
That is better.
Okay.
It's not that it's nothing glaring in this, but it appears to be slightly flashy.
Okay.
If you go for sober one, it will be better.
Okay, sir.
Try other variants also. Your I don't know how blue will go. I don't know.
I have a blue tie, sir, so I thought this time I will wear
They
it.
just check yourself in the
Yes,
mirror.
yes.
Blue should be all right, but maroon should also be good.
Yes.
Only thing is, it should not be give a flashy look.
Okay, sir.
That's all.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks. Thanks.